Hey MGTOWs, this is Vention. I just wanted to say something briefly. I'm not gonna do the intro or anything. This is just a quick note. Basically, men who have honor, men of honor, who have traditionally prided themselves and attached following the law to their own personal honor, that is going away. With the massive, rampant, over-the-top, obvious, in-your-face disregard of the law by the elites and the left and the media, all of that is basically coalescing and changing the way honorable men feel about the law. And unfortunately for society, well, society's been hijacked, and the law is basically just used as a control mechanism to control men of honor and the productive people. And so it's necessary, and it's sad, but it is absolutely necessary, at least in my opinion, that honorable men are going to have to start following the new way things are. The law is no longer used with honor to control those people who are harmful to society and others. Instead, it's being used as a control mechanism to exploit and brutalize and harvest and harm and basically just treat honorable, productive men like chumps and take from us at the profit of those who have no honor. So basically, I, over the last year or two, maybe 3, have started to sort of drift in the direction that my own personal honor is no longer connected to the law. It is basically my honor is reserved for individuals and people I interact with in person and people I interact with online, but it has nothing to do with corporations or government. When I'm dealing with, basically, corporations have to be psychopathic by their very nature. If a corporation wants to be a good corporate citizen and follow honor, right, at the cost of their own profit, then their shareholders will protest and kick out the board of directors and hire a new board of directors, or select new boards of directors, and they will be as psychotic and psychopathic as the corporation. And the government is just an extension of corporations, and basically they're controlled by the revolving door between corporations and the government bodies that regulate them. Like the FDA is controlled by the elites of Monsanto and the like, ADM, and basically they, the high officers of those boards of directors, intermittently go into government as good voluntary citizens, to do their duty to the people, right? And then they go in there and they make laws and regulations to that support their own cabal, their own group of people who run these big corporations. So regulations, regulatory bodies, and the boards of directors of and the officers of these corporations are basically the same group. They just sort of play ring around the rosy, and some of them are in government and some of them are on the boards of directors, and they profit themselves handsomely at our expense. So they have no honor when it comes to the law, right? And basically, if we have honor by following the law and the letter of the law, then we are simply chumps. We are just simply foolish chumps who are being abused and harvested and profited from because we're so innocent that we're following the corporate law that they have put together for their own profit. And they laugh at us like it's like, they laugh at us all the time for being such chumps, right? The left, they have nothing, they haven't been able to accumulate assets or wealth or anything, and so they basically just they don't follow any kind of honor at all anywhere. But honorable men are a little bit different. We have honor when it comes to individual people, but I am of the opinion that I am suspending honor when it comes to corporations and government, because they are just so completely corrupt that it just doesn't make any sense to apply honorable standards to inhuman, psychopathic corporations and the people who follow their orders who are in government, right? So that's the way things have to be, in my opinion. So when it comes to following the letter of the law, I have to just basically determine what the consequences are, because if I don't follow the law, unlike the elites who really run everything, they can disregard the law no problem at all with no consequence. But there is consequence for me if I'm caught disregarding the law, right? So basically, I will have to measure and evaluate every situation where there's some kind of stupid ass law telling me I have to do some shit when the corporate elites and the ruling elites don't have to follow those laws, right? Rules for me and not for thee. Or no rules for me and you better follow the law for you. So basically, that's a situation I'm going to have to evaluate the consequences and the likelihood of being caught when disregarding their laws, right? Because their laws are not my laws. Their laws are no longer valid, in my opinion, right? I am now, I guess you could call me an anarchist because I am far less likely now to follow crazy, arbitrary laws that profit them and not me. So that puts me in a situation where, according to them, I could be considered a criminal, right? Whereas in reality, they are the criminals and I am a good man. But it's necessary to, look at reality, So I will decide in each and every situation what laws I will follow and which ones I won't, based on the likelihood of being caught and the degree of consequence that would be applied, right? If I were caught, right? So it's sad to see a society crash and burn like this because, when good men stop respecting the law, because I have no respect for the law anymore. When good men stop respecting the law, that is like the final gasps of a civilization that's about to implode, right? So it's important to look at your own well-being and your own um, overall well-being, how you can profit from disregarding their laws, and how you can, and how likely you are to be caught. We have to let it all go. You know, you have to let it all go, because the dream of even-handed justice being blind and holding the scale, that's bullshit. It's all graft and bribery and underhanded, um, basically organized crime. The whole legal system is basically organized crime. Ask any guy who's been through divorce court. It's obvious justice has nothing to do with the law. So yeah, it's time to grow up. It's time to let it all go, and basically basically look at it pragmatically and decide which law you're going to follow and which laws you're not, individually, on a case-by-case basis. But when it comes to individuals, individual human beings, not corporate, fake-ass corporate psychopathic organizations, when it comes to individual human beings, honor is paramount. Honor, when you're dealing with individuals online, real living human beings that have a heart that actually beats, those are the people that I have honor with. Unless they, of course, absolutely demonstrate dishonor amongst them, like in their own personal morality. Like that guy who wasn't taking care of my tools, right? When I left them there by mistake, forgetting, senior moment. Those people I will suspend as much interaction with as possible. I will just stay away from them. I won't really violate my honor by lying to such people or taking advantage of such people. I will simply decrease my contact with them, and basically, they are nobody to me now. I will have no interaction with those people. So for me, honor is suspended for government and corporations, fake-ass organizations, and my honor is reserved for real living human beings who have a beating heart and a soul and all that good stuff. And those are the people who I will treat with honor. And it's not a matter of them, It is a matter of my own personal honor, because it's an insult and a breaking inside me if I disregard honor to an individual person and throw them under the bus. That is something that breaks me as much as it breaks, or as much as it harms them. So yeah, that is something I will not do. But I will decrease my interactions with such people as much as possible. I will keep a good air gap between me and such people. Like all the lefties who are burning down the cities, I will stay as far away from such people as possible. Okay, MGTOWs, that's about all I got for you, and I'm going to jump back on that stationary bike and get my sun and do my exercise routine. Then I'm going to go hit the store and buy a few things. I want to get a couple tools and some parts, and because there's something I want done here at the house that as a repair, but I don't want them to go cheap on parts, because I plan on coming back here. And I want a good, I'll just show you. It's basically this crappy little sink here has a really shitty hot water valve, and they replaced this thing, and the the landlord here is a friend of MGTOW mongers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go buy the parts that will be useful, or I'm going to replace that freaking thing, that valve assembly, and I'm also going to buy some shutoff valves for the bottom, and then basically when the landlord and the mechanic show up to replace this, I'll have all the parts, boom, right there, and they can just grab them, shut off the water, because I don't want to take my life. I don't want to risk my life by climbing up on the roof to shut off the water. I'll leave that up to the guy who's paid to do it. And then I'll just have all the parts sitting here, so they won't have to go on a parts run. And then I'll just be able to yank the old ones out after shutting off the water, then put the new ones in. And then when I come back here, probably in the fall, and the rest of my time I spend here, I will have a nice sink to do my shaving and stuff in. Okay, MGTOWs, that's about it, and don't get married.